Sophie, a young milliner and eldest of three sisters, encounters a wizard named Howl on her way to visit her sister Letty. Upon returning home, she meets the Witch of the Waste, who transforms her into a 90-year-old woman. Seeking to break the curse, Sophie leaves home and sets off through the countryside. She meets a living scarecrow, whom she calls Turnip Head. He leads her to Howl's moving castle where she enters without invitation. She subsequently meets Howl's young apprentice Markle and a fire demon named Calcifer, the source of the castle's magic and movement. Calcifer makes a deal with Sophie, agreeing to break her curse if she breaks his link with Howl. When Howl appears, Sophie announces that she has hired herself as a cleaning lady. Meanwhile, Sophie's nation is caught up in a war with a neighboring kingdom, which is searching for its missing prince. The king summons Howl to fight in the war. However, Howl decides to send Sophie to the king under the pretense of being his mother, to tell him that Howl is too much of a coward to fight. Before leaving, he gives Sophie a charmed ring that leads her to Calcifer and guarantees her safety. Sophie meets Suleiman, the king's head sorceress, and also the Witch of the Waste, whom Suleiman punishes by draining all of her power and reverting her to her true age, that of a harmless old woman. Suleiman warns Sophie that Howl will meet the same fate if he does not fight for the king. Howl then arrives to rescue Sophie. Suleiman tries to trap him by turning him into a monster, but with Sophie's help he remembers himself and just barely avoids death. The duo escapes along with the former Witch of the Waste and Suleiman's dog Heen. In the meantime, soldiers from each kingdom break in to the homes of both Jenkins and Pendragon, Howl's aliases in those kingdoms. However, the men only find an empty courtyard and warehouse, as the castle's magic nature allows travel between four separate residences. Sophie learns that Howl's life is somehow bound to Calcifer's and that Howl has been transforming into a bird-like creature to interfere with both sides in the war, but each transform it. Iron makes it more difficult for him to return to human form. Howl then has the castle magically linked to Sophie's home, parking the castle itself on the town's outskirts. A few days later, the town is bombed by enemy aircraft and Suleiman's henchmen attack the house and Sophie's hat shop. Howl heads out to protect the group. Sophie then moves everyone out of the house and removes Calcifer from the fireplace, which collapses the castle. The Witch of the Waste realizes that Calcifer has Howl's heart and grabs the fire demon, setting herself on fire. Sophie panics and pours water onto the witch, which douses Calcifer. The remainder of the castle then splits in two. Sophie falls down a chasm and is separated from the group. Following the charmed ring, Sophie wanders into a scene from the past, where she sees a young Howl catch a falling star, Calcifer, and give him his heart. Sophie calls for them to find her in the future as she is teleported away. She returns to the present, finds Howl, and they reunite with the others. The witch returns Howl's heart, and Sophie places it back inside Howl, reviving him and freeing Calcifer, though he decides to stay. Sophie's curse is broken, though her hair remains white. After she kisses Turnip Head on the cheek, he returns to human form, revealing himself to be Justin, the missing prince from the enemy kingdom. He reveals that only his true love's kiss can break his curse. After seeing Sophie's affection lies with Howl, he promptly heads for home to cease the war, but promises he will see them again. Suleiman, watching through a crystal globe, also decides to end the war. Sometime later, bombers fly under dark skies over a recovered and green countryside headed to another war, while Sophie, Howl, and the others travel in the opposite direction in a new flying castle.